folks? What's happening? Brett here from Bad Intentions Boxing, and I'm joined again by the man, the legend that is Joseph Parker. Joseph, fantastic to have you with us. How you keeping, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
No, it's great. Listen, it's great. It's nice to see you on. I think this is the third or fourth time now, so we're privileged and humbled again. I'm conscious, as I said to you earlier on, obviously, of your time. You are in camp at the moment, so I'm not going to sit here and I don't think it's right and respectful to keep going over old things. So if we jump straight in and start, how are you finding it with Andy so far?
I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the new camp, the new setup, the new team, the new environment, and I've got like a excitement, sort of sparked back up again. I mean, not to say anything was wrong with the old team, but just when you do the same thing all the time, and then I think it's no one's fault. It's just it gets a bit stale, and so. And we finished on good terms, and I know Kevin's going to support me throughout my career, and I'll support him and what they do. But I'm enjoying this new process and I'm making the most of this opportunity of living here in the UK, training alongside Tyson, and getting some good work with Andy to prepare for this next fight, May 1.
I know you're someone from our previous conversations that we've had. You've always sort of embraced that British culture that we have around boxing and how we embrace it. Are you finding the transition any different actually now you're living in it and you're part of that environment?
It's staying here, it's a lot different to what I'm used to. I've been training in Vegas for the last 8 years, so this is the first camp here, and I've transitioned well here. I think I flew to London, to Ireland first to meet up with Andy, did a week and a half, 2 weeks there. Then we flew here to continue on with training, get some good sparring in, and I feel like I've transitioned well into training in this new environment, new place, new country. And I know there's been a lot of support here because of the fights that we've had. So there's a lot of people embracing us and our team while we're here.
Would you definitely say that the buzz is something you've noticed a difference in, or has there been a lot more media attention?
Not so much, because we're isolated ourselves into camp, and obviously we're focusing on the fight and what we have to do in terms of training, getting that work and running, training, sparring. But there is, when we do get time to go out for a walk, there's a lot of support here, and it's great to see.
And obviously that leads us on nicely. May the 1st, you're part of a massive domestic card that we've got in this country. There's going to be some massive title fights that are included on there. The likes of Katie Taylor, Dimitri Bivol, and obviously you and Derek headlining that fight. Buddy McGirt, obviously, Derek, that's somebody that Derek's just recently linked up with again. And there's been some comments that he said this week that he's going to bring a heat that you're not going to be able to keep the pace with. That said, in your transition of going over from Andy, do you think there's anything new, or have you worked on particular different strategies that you previously haven't in the past?
Each trainer is different, and each trainer brings things that they think will work for certain fights. And I guess with the transition over here and getting to know Andy and working with him, he's changed and adjusted a few things that he feels is going to benefit us when it comes to fight night. And I've come here with an open mind and come here with just to be like a sponge to absorb everything that's going to be thrown my way, and put my trust and belief in what he's going to, the game plan that he's going to put in place for this fight. So we've been working on a few things, and I guess on fight night it'll show. Hopefully it will show.
In terms of Derek, and I'm sure Derek's somebody that seems to have been around for such a long time now. He made his debut well over 15 odd years ago. There has to be a point to come and say, he is 37, he is getting older. If worst case scenario, you're not to come out of this fight and take the victory, what does that mean for you in your career, Joe? And I appreciate that's a question to chuck somebody right on the spot.
Oh yeah. To be totally honest, that's it'll be a shambles if I lose the fight, and I should consider doing something else. I mean, Derek's been in the game for a long time, and he's got a lot of experience. But he's like you say, he's 37 years old.
Yeah.
So he's sort of past his prime as a heavyweight, or as a heavyweight fighter. So if I can't get past Derek, then I have to ask myself some serious questions after the fight, whether it's still something I should be doing, or whether I should go find another career. I don't know.
Was there, you know, we were lucky enough to share a conversation just before you had the junior far fight, and I appreciate we're taking it back there. I wouldn't say you seemed different when I spoke to you, but there was an element, you know, you were really, there was a lot of emphasis, you know, in that you were telling me that you wanted to be strong, you wanted to have a good fight, you wanted to put on a good performance. And it looked like from watching the fight, and I was privileged to watch it from my living room, obviously, that you seemed quite frustrated at particular times. You know, there was a lot of times where you wanted to throw, I think, and actually get involved in a bit of a duel, and it became a very close-knit, tangled contest, and it looked like there was a lot of frustration that changed there. Was the transition of change for coach something that had been discussed before, or was it only after the fight that actually you decided this was going to happen?
It was only after the fight. After the fight was done and we got a win. It's always important to get a win so you can, you know, get on to bigger and better fights. But after the win, just felt like it was time to try something different. And you know, you want to be the fighter in the future. Goes, I wonder if I did this, would this happen or would that happen? So it's always good to try something else. And I'm not going to get any younger. So it was, you know, and I'm happy with my decision.
No, definitely, you know, and you seem buzzing essentially about the fight on May the 1st as well. So then going on the other flip side, you win, you come away with a victory on May the 1st. We still have this issue, and obviously you're closer to it than a lot of other people, of this web tangle that seems to be entailed of Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Do you think there's an element that we may see a round robin of, you know, great heavyweights like yourself in the current scene that are actually going to end up having to fight each other with the potential of getting that mandatory or that #1 shot? You know, you've got Dillian White, Usyk. There's a lot of big names to chuck into there, and obviously you're trying to wedge yourself right in between it. How does that play out for yourself and other heavyweights in the scene at the moment?
You know, with the belts being tied up at the top level and for all of us waiting for this big fight to happen, I guess it's the fights, all the fighters that are just below, Dylan White, myself, and the others out there. I guess we just have to, you know, keep busy, keep winning, because that's the most important thing in boxing. Keep winning, and eventually you'll sort of get yourself into a place where you can fight for the world title and be a mandatory. But until then, until they've fought for it, you know, the two top guys, we still have to be patient and just do what we have to do.
But obviously, with a 2-fight deal, there's the potential that that could be over 2 years.
Yeah.
And then again, there's 2 years lost that's between other people. You know, Dillian White turned 33 today. There's the potential that he'll be 35. Does there become a point where actually it's not about the belts and it's about much more cementing the legacy in a career for yourself away from that prize as such?
Yeah, I mean, the belt is the ultimate goal for everyone, to be world champion, to be unified champion. But I guess if it is tied up, you just want to be involved in the biggest fights and the most entertaining fights, so you can put, you know, give a good account of yourself and create a legacy that people remember. Oh no, he was a fighter that took this fight, even though it was a dangerous fight, didn't, you know, shy away from any challenges. So it's the belts are important, but also that's important as well.
And again, coming away with winning this, is this going to be something that's more permanent for you, that you're going to be based over in the UK for large parts of the time, or is it going to be shared between here? I appreciate you've got a young family in New Zealand as well.
Yeah, it's going to be shared between, you know, hopefully everything goes well May 1. You know, I'll be here a lot more training with my new coach, Andy, and the team here. And it'll be shared with New Zealand and the UK. You know, I got to see my family and be there for them. And, you know, the kids grow real fast. And then all of a sudden they're like walking from crawling to walking to running. So you gotta, I think balance is the most important thing.
So you don't ever see yourself fully relocating to the United Kingdom?
No, probably not. I love it here for training, and I love it here for fighting. And we've got friends and family here, but you know, New Zealand and Samoa will always be home for me.
No, and I appreciate that. So let's get your final predictions. May the 1st, Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora. If you win, and what is the method of victory?
Listen, if we're gonna go out there, and obviously every fighter wants a action-packed fight and wants a knockout, you know. And I'm gonna go in there and just be myself, have fun, and get the win, you know. And if I relax a bit and let my hands go, that I can get the job done. I'm not gonna go out there looking for it. If you look for it too much, sometimes it doesn't flow. So just go out there, have fun. Most of all, have fun, because this is the time where you can this is like the reward for all the hard training. Go into the ring, dance under the lights, have fun, smash one guy in the face, he smashes you, and then finish. You're done.
Joseph, that was a great account. Honestly, you've been an absolute pleasure. Again, and I am conscious it is quite late to let you get back to your regime and your strategy, because I know you'll be back at it again in the morning. But it's been a privilege as always, buddy.
Thanks for having me on.
Cheers. Thanks very much, Joe.